Hi guys, MrRoflWaffles here. Today we're going to be talking about a kind of press call, private briefing thing that I got invited to with a couple of members of the TREYARCH dev team to talk about Outbreak, Season 2 and Season 3 and things kind of coming beyond. So first off, I should probably mention, this is my first time being invited to something by TREYARCH since like pre-BO4 launch. That was basically the last time that I got an opportunity to kind of directly work with them on something like this, I guess. So I'm pretty excited about just the fact that they actually reached back out to me. So thanks, TREYARCH, for the invite. Appreciate it. What I'll probably do here is run through absolutely everything that was discussed on the call, but I should probably first tell you who was there. So Craig Houston was on the call, who's the lead writer at TREYARCH. He's been at the studio for a hell of a long time, and obviously was the lead writer through all of the Zombies storyline stuff that we had in BO4, BO3, etc. He is a rock-solid member of the Zombies team, and he's also a familiar face, right? Like, we all sort of know who Craig is. It was lovely to chat with you, Craig. There were also two fresher faces, although that's actually not really doing them any justice. Kevin and Corky. Kevin Drew has been at TREYARCH for 14 years. So when I say fresh face, it's not really what I mean, but you know what I mean, right? He first extensively on Zombies at least worked on Mob of the Dead and then did the same on Origins. And he's also been a map director in the past, working on Zetsubo no Shima and Ancient Evil in BO4. It's only now with Cold War that we've started seeing more of Kevin, and it's been really nice doing so. In the studio broadcast the other day, for example, he was talking about some of the upgrade tiers that he'd been working on and just generally a load of the stuff that they were adding in Season 2. And you can tell that he cares a lot about what he's doing, and he's got the kind of experience to back it up as well. So really great to see him in the spotlight a little bit more. He's also one of the main designers on Outbreak, which is why he was there in the call. And we have Corky, who has been a little bit of a background character, I think, in some ways. Like, he's floated around a bit. His name's been out there a little bit for a while now, but we haven't really been able to put a name to a face all that frequently. However, he's been at the studio for 16 years, and he's been basically creative directing Zombies since World at War. So he's got a long tenure on Zombies at the studio, which again is great to see that he's now being able to kind of talk about these things in a kind of public format like this. Really like to see that. It was interesting as well. He actually gave us a little bit of history about his kind of past experience prior to just jumping onto Zombies. He was originally a Marvel pencil artist, which is so cool. And then I think he worked in, and I'm going to probably get this wrong, I'm so sorry, either character design or something to do with modeling or something like that at Grey Matter. And then Grey Matter got rolled into TREYARCH, and I mean, history speaks for itself at that point, and here we are. And a fun fact about Corky that I've told a few times on the channel actually since he became the creative director of Zombies this year is that he actually designed and drew and painted, as far as I'm aware at least, the poster for Gorod Krovi. That was him. So this is a multi-talented man that we've got on the cards here. So those were the members of the call alongside Activision and like a couple of other YouTubers and I think some basically like PR sort of people. And they kicked off by telling us a bit about Outbreak itself. So they've been working on this mode for 2 years. And I think what that probably means happened is it was in dev for a while, and then in the chaos of game development and with everything that happened last year globally and just everything that's been going on, the project probably had a pretty bumpy time getting to ship, which it now has. I wouldn't be surprised if there were points in the project where it was totally cancelled, and then other points where it was brought back and revived, probably recently as well, and finally we've made it out of the door now, so the team are all elated about it. And what's cool is the team are really energized and excited about this mode in a way that I think is kind of unique in the studio. Obviously, when a new map comes out or they're working on a new game, the team's excited about it, but Outbreak is such a departure from stuff that TREYARCH have done in the past. And time again, I'll sort of talk to devs or hear devs speaking, and I'll hear them say that there are experiences that they are having in Outbreak that they've never had in COD before, and it just makes them even more jazzed to be working on it and to keep making content for it, etc. And we'll talk about more content coming soon to Outbreak in a sec. It's also something that they said the team has been interested in doing for many years now. This is not something new. Every time there's been a new project, they've sort of thought, you know what? What if we did an open world Zombies experience, but through technical limitations in the past or just prioritizing other things, it hasn't materialized until now. But with this particular project, they built all the systems in Cold War Zombies with Outbreak in mind, so they could take the jump pads, or they could take the armor station, the crafting station, score streaks, the Wonder Fizz, and slot those things in into this world in a way that would seamlessly integrate in an open world setting and would make perfect sense in the regular zombies modes too. It's only actually shipped and like worked out because they made those decisions early on. So TREYARCH, props for some good planning there, good project management. And I think it also speaks to their vision for the future of the mode as well, because they've built all these elements of the sandbox. Now they're going to be able to move them around, add certain ones in, take them out in a much more straightforward manner because they've built them to be modular in that sense, to kind of plug in a seamless way. It was very clear from the call that it's going to grow. It's going to be a wait and see approach, which means that we're not necessarily going to have a load of announcements today about what is coming in the future. We'll have some, but they're going to basically interact with the community and reflect on what the community is saying in feedback and things like that, and then make plans accordingly, I think. It's certainly something they have an initial vision for, but they want to make sure that they tailor the things that they do build in the future towards what the community is interested in. And one of those things is Easter eggs, of course. And I was blown away when they told us that the main quest Easter egg for Outbreak is planned right now, tentatively, for Season 3. Which means there's a main quest. I didn't think there was going to be one. I was so shocked when they said it because I was assuming that Outbreak was going to be a mode that was going to be kind of cool as like a thing to do with your friends on the weekend, maybe just like hanging out, having a casual zombies game. But I didn't think that there would ever be a quest in it. I just didn't expect that at all. And so when they said that, mind blown. In terms of timing, when is that likely to be? Well, I'd say probably like, I don't know, 2 months from now or so, at a rough guess, would be when we could probably expect to see some talk about an Outbreak main quest being in the works or being planned to release at some point. It's definitely early days right now, but stay tuned to my channel and I'll give you guys updates as we learn more about that main quest. We'll talk more about Easter eggs in just a sec because there's actually a really important point I want to get to. But I first want to sort of focus on what we're going to be doing in the meantime. So I asked about limited time modes. I was really curious if there was the potential, just like we see in Warzone, for some kind of timed events to be put into Outbreak and to kind of spice up the experience for us. And they are totally keeping an eye on it and considering it for the future. The way that they worded it made it sound like LTMs are absolutely being worked on. It's just that it's a little too early to announce what they are or how they're going to work or when they're going to come out. And so again, wait and see approach, but LTMs are a definite feasible possibility for this mode. They're also going to be adding new maps. So right now we're on 3 maps, but undoubtedly Sanatorium will probably be coming in the future, and further Fireteam maps I expect will also be coming in Season 3, 4, and beyond. I think part of this is a narrative decision because they can only tell us so much story so far, and to just give us loads more maps right now wouldn't work for the story. Like, we need to be contained in the Ural Mountains and stuff anyway. But also, I don't know, let's say Sanatorium's really buggy or something and it's been causing them loads of issues. I'd much rather they just take the time to fix it and then, hey, we get a new map later on. Like, everyone wins. It's great. I guess that's an important point as well. It's all narratively connected. Like, we asked Craig about it, and yes, it's all canon. It's all relevant to the story. It shouldn't be ignored. So we talked about the main quest a little bit. Are there side quests? Are there hidden things in there? Now, the way they answered that question kind of made me think that that is intended. However, right now, the focus is on intel, so you can find various bits of intel around the map. You can also get intel from the Trials machine. There are lots and lots of ways to get intel in Outbreak. However, other things, like, I don't know, let's say music Easter eggs and stuff like that, or maybe more fully fleshed out side quests, I think are going to be something that it sounded like they're going to sprinkle in over time. And so I guess as the updates come out for Outbreak, we should be really mindful and keeping an eye on what potential new things might have been added in that week or that month. It may be that there is some other stuff in there right now. I believe that the focus is intel, like I said, but there is always absolutely a chance that we do end up finding some stuff. And bear in mind, I'm talking here about things with like real mechanics, like the bunny Easter egg in Firebase Z. I am sure there are some Easter eggs that are environmental design, things in the scenery, or Easter eggs related to events that are already happening in the gameplay. So for instance, the voice that is talking to you. I'm sure there are some interesting things that you can kind of spin up with regards to theories related to that, or things that you might not notice necessarily, like maybe you can find a certain zombie talking to you in certain places. Maybe there's the jump scare zombie, for example, that we've been seeing going around. That's sort of an Easter egg, kind of. I mean, it depends what your definition is, really. So there's things in there. It's just a question of how much and what the expectation is. And if those things don't match, obviously, then the community might be like, there's no Easter eggs, I'm sad. Whereas if we're sort of going into it thinking, all right, there's the current offering, but there's going to be more in future, then I think our expectations will be in a good place. TREYARCH also made mention of speedrunning and like going for like high rounds or high world tiers in this case. And this is a really interesting one because I think they see Outbreak as more of a casual experience at first, but I think it also does facilitate the hardcore once you push past those first 3, 4, 5 world tiers. It's basically got capacity to do both. It just depends on what the community ends up deciding it wants to do with it. And that's why the wait and see approach that TREYARCH mentioned is so relevant here, because I think that the high round community and the sort of speedrunning community and stuff like that are going to really get their teeth stuck into Outbreak and do some crazy things with it. And I think TREYARCH wants that to happen in order to kind of inform their decisions about what they do next. They did specifically mention speedrunning and stuff like that. So you guys are not being ignored here by TREYARCH. They want to see what you guys can do with Outbreak, and I'm sure that will change their opinion about what they should be doing in the future and how they can make the mode better for all of you. It's for this exact reason that whenever I make a video like this, I always say, if you have any opinions about what's going on here, whether you don't like a certain thing that they said or you're excited about a certain thing, leave it in the comments down below, and TREYARCH may well end up reading some of those comments and getting some ideas about what to do next in the game. That's absolutely possible, and the more discussion we kind of generate and cultivate about these things, the more likely those thoughts that TREYARCH are kind of absorbing into their brains will be productive for the community as a whole. One last thing that was really interesting is Pizza the Legend asked about putting camos on box weapons, because obviously right now, if you grind for Dark Ether and then you can't use it because you don't want to use your loadout weapon in your game, it kind of makes the whole grind pointless. And they said that it's something that they are definitely thinking about and working on. And specifically, it's going to be a system that's not going to be just your traditional camo system like you've got in your loadout. It's going to be a little different to that. And it's going to mean that you are going to be able to use your camos in game. And it kind of makes me think, is it going to be a system where the gun doesn't inherently have the camo on it? Because that's what would make sense to me. Like, you have like a weapon kit system where you've got all your weapons in the menu and then you put the camo that you want on a certain gun and that's that. But that would tie in best with a system where the box guns attachments weren't randomized. And so I think that there's a good chance that instead they make it like maybe part of the D-pad where you have your kind of taunt menu and you can say hello or thank you and all those sorts of things. What if they made it so that you could like wrap your weapon on there? And then it would just be as you picked it up, you would wrap a camo that you would like preset or something. I don't really know. I don't really know how it's going to work, to be honest. Let me know what you think in the comments down below, man. I'm sure TREYARCH are just as confused as I am right now, but they're working on it. So what's the play from here then? Well, I'm going to keep streaming Outbreak tonight and over the next few days for sure. And even though the main quest Easter egg isn't turned on, you better believe I'm going to be looking for stuff. Because in Firebase Z, the main quest was turned off, but I literally made a video the day before the Easter egg went live, and I called out like 5 different objects that were all used in the Easter egg, because it was kind of obvious. Like, I'm not a genius, it's just that they sort of stuck out like a sore thumb. And in the same way in Outbreak, I am sure there are going to be things that we're going to be able to come across in the world and go, you know what? This just speaks to me. It tells me through the visual language of games that it's going to be used for something at some point. And so when the quest goes live in 6 weeks or 2 months or 3 months or whenever it is, we may find some use out of those objects after all. So I'm going to be getting prepared early because why the hell not? Got a head start, might as well make use of it. And I'm also going to be making lots of videos for you guys. So if you're interested in seeing those, subscribe, and I'll be streaming tonight as well. So be subscribed so you don't miss that. Okay, thanks guys. Thanks TREYARCH for the invite. I missed working with you guys. I'm glad to be back. Thanks everyone. Bye for now.